What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We got a new SBS review for everyone today, and this review is going to be on what has been my most anticipated game of the year, and that is Tales of Arise. Now, if you've been following my channel in any capacity whatsoever, you know how hyped I was for this game. I'm so happy that I got to play it. I'm happy that I finished it. Well, I'm kind of happy that I finished it because I don't want it to be over. And I feel like after I put out this review, it'll finally be the end of my Tales of Arise journey until that new game plus happens. But it's bittersweet, y'all. But anyway, we're going to be talking about the sound, the battle system, and the story. And there's a couple other things I want to touch on about the game too. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm really excited to talk about this game with you guys. All right, so the sound. Before we jump feet first into the sound, I just want to get this out of the way, let you guys know. I was not able to find the soundtrack for this game at all, so I won't be able to play the music I'm talking about for you. And B, because I haven't found the soundtrack for this game, I don't know what the songs are called officially. So I'm just going to be calling them generic battle theme, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, let's start with the world map theme. So Tales of Arise doesn't have a world map. What it does have are, I would say, 6 zones that you explore that each have their own theme to them. So they kind of like have their own mini world map themes. And I will say in general about these themes, they're fire. Not gonna front. They're actually all really good songs. And what I like about them the most is that each region that you explore in the beginning is represented by an element. And the music that plays while you're in those worlds, I feel like fit the theme of the world and the element that the world is supposed to represent. So for example, there's a realm called Elderman and Sia, and that is the earth art realm. So there's a lot of elaborate mountains, rock structures, lots of plants, vegetation, wildlife, and the music that plays while you're exploring that region fits that particular region in terms of how it looks. It's so cool that they put that extra detail into these themes, considering that these will represent what are supposed to be world map themes. I'm really happy that they do the job of being a world map theme as far as like traveling music and getting lost in the theme and getting lost in the area. It does that on top of being music that is representative of the area that it plays in. I think that's really cool too. As far as the battle themes go, there are 3 battle themes in total. There's a regular battle theme, a remix to that battle theme, and then a theme that's called Field Battle that I honestly don't know the circumstances in which Field Battle plays, but I will tell you for my money, Field Battle is the best of the 3 free. It's not even a contest. That song is amazing, and it's one of my favorite songs in the entire game. When I hear Field Battle, it makes me feel the way that Eliminate Crisis from Trials of Cold Steel does. I feel extremely powerful. I can't be beaten. I have no fear, and there's no reason for me to be concerned about anything that's going on because those enemies can't touch me, bro. They're just gonna get hands. The other 2 battle themes make me feel the complete opposite of that. I feel like I'm panicked. I feel like that I got back attack every time I hear this theme, and I'm not prepared for the battle that I'm in. What I will say though about the music in general, and though this is kind of a bad thing, it helps in terms of those battle themes I don't like. I feel like the music in general gets drowned out by everything else that's going on in the game in terms of sound. So what I mean is music gets drowned out by the sound effects of battle, the banter between your characters and the enemies that speak have a little bit of banter too. And all that stuff overwhelms the music. Like I said, it's kind of a bad thing unless there's music playing that you don't like. Then it's a really good thing. But overall, I feel that the music is the weakest part of this game. It has really fire tracks on it. Like I said, the field battle theme's amazing. The what I would call world map themes, the region themes are dope. But the regular battle themes leave a lot to be desired. I don't like the way they make me feel, and I don't like the music at all either. And boss themes. Each boss has their own particular theme as well. And to be 100% honest with you guys, again, those you only hear them when you fight that boss, and they get drowned out by what's going on too. So I really honestly can't speak to those themes as much as I would like to, because I honestly don't remember what they sound like. All I remember is Alphen and Shion yelling at each other, Balsif talking shit to me, Ganabelt talking shit while we talk shit to him. Like, the music gets lost. And honestly, if I felt the soundtrack was stronger than it is, that would be a major problem for me. But since I feel like the soundtrack is middle of the road, I would say 6 out of 10. That's really not too big of an issue for me, unless like field battle plays or something like that. But again, OST is the weakest part of this game. Alright, so battle system. As far as the battle system goes for Tales of Arise, I enjoyed it so much. I think, for me personally, it's my favorite Tales battle system. So it's pretty much at its base your traditional Tales battle system, more Berseria style than Vesperia style. And what I mean by that is that you have AG above your life bar. The more AG you have, the more actions you can take. You can combo your normal attacks into your arts or your special moves. You can combine with other characters to create longer combos. The traditional Tales stuff. What is different though is that your attack button is mapped to R1 by default, and then square, triangle, and X, I played on a PlayStation controller on PC. Those are your arts buttons, and then jump is mapped to circle. And then you can dodge roll with R2 as well, which is really sick. But outside of that, and another thing I want to let you know, you only have 3 buttons to map arts to, but later on in the game, you get macros, so you can hold L2 and access 3 more arts. So you can have 6 total. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. And what you can customize and what you can put together as far as assigning arts to create combos, there is a lot of creativity in this game as far as what you can do. Now, a new system introduced to Tales of Arise, I don't know if it's ever been officially coined this, but I'm calling it the boost system. And that contains boost attacks and boost strikes. So boost attacks are a unique attack that every character has. You have a bar that is on your character portrait, and that fills up during battle. Once it fills up, your character portrait flashes, and you can hit whatever directional button that your character is assigned to. And if your character is not in the active party, you can hold L2 and still access their boost attack, which is amazing. And they'll pop out on the character that your main character that you're controlling is targeting and perform a boost attack. Now, these boost attacks have special attributes that are unique to each boost attack. And I'll run through those real quick because they're not difficult. So Alphen's knocks down no matter what the enemy is. Shion knocks down flyers. Rinwell steals magic attacks. So if you have enemies, no matter where they are on the screen or who you are targeting, if they're charging a magic attack, you call in Rinwell and she absorbs it and adds that to her boost gauge. I think she has the most practical, useful boost attack in the entire game. Kisara uses her shield to stop charging attacks. Law breaks armor, and Dolahim binds enemies. So if you have an enemy that likes to dodge or jump around or is nimble, Dolahim binds them and keeps them from using those nimble moves or dodges. Now these are cool in that, like I said, they have their own special use depending on what your battle situation is. So it helps with planning and strategizing. Incorporating boost attacks helps so much. But they also can keep combos going when you run out of AG. So you're attacking, doing a combo, you run out of AG and you have Xion ready to go, call in her boost attack, it hits multiple times, gives you enough time to charge AG to run in and keep that attack going so you can use your boost strike. So boost strikes are team attacks that you can do to usually A, finish off an enemy, or B, if you're fighting a boss and you get it down to half HP, you use a boost attack and that switches the flow of battle as far as like the patterns of the boss and what the boss does. It initiates the second part of the boss fight basically. Now, every character has a boost strike with each other, but it's not 2 per set. So what I mean by that is Alphen and Xion have a boost attack or a boost strike, but Xion and Alphen don't have one. See what I'm saying? Like everyone has one with each other. And to initiate these attacks, it's a lot like boost attacks, except the gauge lives on the enemy. Over here. On the enemy. And as you do damage and build up your combo count, the diamond gauge fills up. Once it fills up, your character portraits flash blue. Boost attack flashes on the screen letting you know you can do it, and you hit any of the directional buttons to initiate the boost strike. My only gripe with boost strikes is that it seems like they're random, and there's some boost strikes I like more than others. Basically, every boost strike Kisara has is fire. Every single one is dope, especially the one she has her phone well. That one is amazing. But you can hit Kisara or you can hit Rinwell, but you might not get that particular one. You will get anyone in your party, even if they're active or not, participates in boost strikes. And the last wrinkle that has been introduced in this Tales game that I like it and hate it at the same time. It's called CP. CP are your cure points. So there's no MP in this game. All magic attacks use AG if they aren't healing attacks. So all of Rinwell's like arts use AG, and the arts that Xion has that aren't healing arts use AG. But if you use healing magic, it uses this resource called CP. Now, CP is interesting because if you run out of CP in a fight, you can't heal with magic anymore. You have to heal with items, or you have to use gels to restore your CP. All the gels that used to restore MP now restore CP. And CP is a pool that your entire party uses. So if you have Dolahim and Xion healing in a battle, they are both using the same pool of CP. That'll make it drain much faster. And another thing that they do with CP is that as you're exploring dungeons and whatnot, there's going to be areas that are locked away by different things. Like there's some like ice walls that you have to use the blazing sword to knock down, or there's plants on the wall that aren't complete and you have to use Dolahim to grow the plants so you can climb up. Those actions use CP as well. So it gets to a point where you have to think about what you really want to do with your CP. This is an aspect of CP that I like. I like managing resources. I think that's cool. And I think it gives you something to think about, and it keeps you from just flying through games or taking advantage of like systems. Resources balance it out. What I hate about CP is that it's another resource to manage. And I love it and hate it for the same reasons. But like, I don't like the idea that I can be in a boss fight I can run out of CP and it ruins you, because Tales of Arise, like all Tales games, have item caps. You can only carry 15 of a particular item. So that makes managing your CP so much more important, because you can't just buy 99 of a potion and be like, well, I'm out of CP. Guess I'll just use potions for the rest of this time. Nah, bro, you run out of CP, you got 15 potions max that you can use to heal your party. And after that, you better just cross those fingers and hope that you finish the battle before your healing resources run out. I love and hate CP for that very reason. I think it's cool that it gives you a resource to manage and something that you have to think about before you fly off into a dungeon or fly off into battles. But I hate it because it's a resource to manage that you have to be sure that you have enough of, or you can restore before you fly off into dungeons and fly off into battles. Let me just say that I love and hate CP at the same time. But overall, I hope that it doesn't come back. I hope they go back to MP. Overall, the battle system is fantastic for this game. I love the boost system. Boost attacks give you so much more ability to strategize and battle, and it makes you really think about who you take with you into battle. And boost strikes are just dope, super cool to look at. I never got tired of seeing them. The only time it happened is if it's like, all right, I saw this boost strike like 4 times in a row, bro. Let's switch it up. But other than that, they're cool, really fun to look at, super dynamic. I love them so much, and I love this Tales battle system. I hope that Tales of Arise is the new foundation for the Tales battle systems in the future. It is so much fun. All right, guys, so let's talk about the nitty-gritty of every JRPG, the story. So you know how I do. I'm not gonna spoil this story for you guys, but I will let you know what it's about and what's going on. So, rough overview. The planet of Dana, where the majority of the game takes place of, was conquered by this planet called Rena 300 years before the start of the game. And they subjugated and enslaved the Danans, and now they use them as slaves to gather their astral energy to run what's called the Crown Contest. Now, the Crown Contest is 5 lords from Rena competing to see who can gather the most astral energy. Whoever gathers the most becomes the ruler of Dana and Rena until the next Crown Contest. Now, our main character, who starts off as Iron Mask, is, as you might have guessed by his name, a man wearing an iron mask. You cannot see his face or anything. He has no memories of his past, and he does not know how he ended up where he ended up. All he knows is that he cannot feel pain, and he does not have the thing in his wrist. I don't remember what this item's called that they implanted in the Danans, but it's what they use to gather their astral energy. Iron Mask doesn't have one of those. One day he goes to work slaving away, and he runs into Shion, who is on her own quest to defeat the 5 lords and end the Crown Contest. Now, she gets into a little bit of trouble, and Alphen, or Iron Mask, helps her out. They realize that they have similar goals, even though they have similar goals, even though the reasons why are different. Alphen wants to free the Danans, Shion wants to end the Crown Contest, but at the end of the day, they got to do the same thing to get that done. So they team up and begin their quest to end the Crown Contest. That is the story of Tales of Arise. And I gotta tell you, it is dope. I love the story of this game. I think that it's a very JRPG way to deal with issues that are still very much a problem in present day. Though it doesn't tell them in the most realistic way, you really don't expect it to. It's a JRPG, so there's still going to be tropes that are involved with the genre. They're going to have solutions to problems that are kind of unrealistic. But at the end of the day, I think it tells a fantastic story that is very relevant to today's world. Now, the game is split into 2 acts, and I think Act 1 is much stronger than Act 2, but Act 2 is dope in its own right because you learn a lot of things about the characters, you learn a lot of things about the world they live in, and you finally get to see the maturation of all the relationships in the game. And what I mean by that is there are 3 male party members and 3 female party members. So there's a couple, like 3 different couples in the game. Alphen and Shion, Dolahim and Kisara, and Law and Rinwell. As far as those 3 couples go, I am partial to Dolahim and Kisara's relationship. I think that is the most mature relationship in the game, and it's the relationship that changes the most in the game. And where it starts to where it ends, I think is absolutely phenomenal. And it just, watching those 2 interact with each other throughout the game warmed my heart the entire time. I love those 2 so much. They're my 2 favorite characters. Alphen and Shion's relationship is very, very unique because of the circumstances of the 2 characters. Now, Alphen cannot feel pain, and Shion cannot be touched because she deals pain. That in and of itself is enough to make that relationship interesting, but the fact that Alphen's Danon, Shion is Renin adds another really cool layer on top of it. And the fact that their personalities are shaped by the circumstances that they are in, and the reason for their circumstances are very different at the beginning, and that causes them to butt heads a lot, but that also causes them to realize and accept their differences and grow from there. It's really cool. As far as individual characters, it's another CP situation because I don't like, Rinwell is my favorite character because she grows the most out of any character in the game, but I hate her couple. I hate her in her couple with Law. But overall, the story for Tales of Arise is very mature, very dark for a Tales game, and it is a lot of fun to learn about these characters, watch them interact with each other, watch them grow. You know, the typical Tales stuff. The character development and the world building is always top notch in these games, and Tales of Arise is no different. Overall though, great story, absolutely love it, and I definitely think it is one of the best stories in the franchise. Alright, so the miscellaneous stuff with this game. First and foremost, we have to address this topic, and this will roll into the second thing I want to talk about. This game is very, very heavy-handed with its DLC, and it is not ashamed of it in any way. And what I mean is that when you pause the game, there's a DLC option in your menu, and it has a notification that does not go away unless you just decide to buy all the DLC that's currently available. And even within that, there is another menu that has another option for you to purchase DLC that has another notification on it that doesn't go away. And my least favorite thing is when you camp. There is DLC notifications on the bottom of the screen in your camp menu. When your characters are talking and chilling and you're deciding if you want to rest, cook, watch some flashbacks, the game is trying to sell you DLC. DLC with single player games, I generally do not mind because that does not affect anybody's experience except your own. I have no problem with that. But when you are so open about trying to sell it, I have an issue with that. If I want to buy it, keep it in the menu, let me find it, let me go there, let me buy it. Do not throw it in my face every chance you get. But what I will say about the DLC, and I've seen this sentiment online and I absolutely do not agree with it in any way at all, is that the game is balanced around its DLC. It is not at all. So the game sells you levels and it sells you money. And I know people see that and they instantly think that they made this game in a way where I cannot beat it without buying levels and I can't purchase the supplies I need without buying money. Neither one of those two things are true. You will get low on funds in this game, but if you go through dungeons and explore and get treasure chests, you will be blessed with a bunch of loot to prepare you for your next adventure. And I played on normal. I didn't play on nightmare or hard or anything like that. But I will say, for my gameplay experience, I was never pressured into buying levels or money, and I didn't have to do either one of those two things to finish the game. I was able to play the entire game, get all the supplies I needed without having to purchase anything beyond what the game gives you. And I just want to put that out there. This game is not balanced around this DLC, but they really need to chill with that shit. Another thing this game does for the first time that I don't think a Tales game has done is camping. I mentioned it earlier when I was talking about the DLC because it sells you DLC or tries to while you're camping. But camping's really cool because it gives you more opportunities for the characters to interact with each other. There's skits that happen only in camping scenes. And there's cooking skits as well. When you cook a particular dish with a particular character, you'll get a little skit out of it. And then there's a little banter when you're sitting out by the campfire too. What this has caused to happen, which I absolutely love, is because since there's camping sites all over the place and you can sleep for free while you do that, inns in Tales of Arise do not cost you money. You do not have to pay money to sleep at any inn anywhere in the game. Thank you. That should just be a JRPG thing, especially if your game has camping. You shouldn't charge people to use inns. They're just gonna run outside and go camp. It's free. But yeah, guys, I think that is everything I wanted to discuss with Tales of Arise. Overall, this game is beautiful. I absolutely love it. The graphics are gorgeous. The music, while not the best, it does its job. It does its job. But Field Battle is fire. Love that song. The story is amazing. The battle system is godlike. Absolutely love it. I recommend this game to any and every JRPG fan. And if you know anyone that kind of is casual with JRPGs, only plays the big ones, the Final Fantasies, Dragon Quest, recommend this game. This game is the benchmark for next-gen Japanese RPGs. This is the starting point. This game is phenomenal. It is not my favorite Tales game. I still think Symphonia and Tales of the Abyss are better, but this is definitely up there with the classics. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any thoughts about the game, any opinions about the game, anything you want to talk about that I didn't touch on, please leave it in the comments. I love talking about this game, and I want to talk about this game with you guys. And if you like the video at all, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe. I really appreciate your support, and I appreciate the support that you guys have shown me already. It has been nothing short of phenomenal. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.